decided to make the choux pastry first because I wanted enough time for them to cool down when they came out of the oven.
So the first thing I do for the choux pastry is combine the butter, water, sugar, milk and heat it up. It's kind of really flying blind for me, and that's probably why, you know, I dread the desserts, because I just have had no experience with them.
I remove my mixture from the heat and allow it to cool.
Rachel, what are you up to?
I'm doing my choux pastry.
OK, so you've got one done.
Yes.
All right, and you've cooled that down before you add your eggs
Correct,
into
I'm
it?
just waiting. It's still a little bit hot.
Yeah,
I don't want scrambled eggs.
Exactly right, it'd be terrible.
The thing I dread most about this dish is the profiteroles.
The profiteroles need to be spongy, they need to be rising at the right time, and they
Crisp on the outside.
They can deflate easy.
And it's the eggs, George, isn't it, that puff, that give it the rise. So if the eggs aren't incorporated properly and the panade or the basic choux hasn't been cooked out enough, yeah, flat, horrible.
So you have to make sure that mixture is spot on. I beat my mixture to remove any more heat, and then I add one egg at a time.
I think I'm taking too long in between adding my eggs, and it's making it a bit too thin.
You're worried about the consistency of your choux pastry, right?
Yeah. You've had the beaters in there so long that it's created a bit of warmth. Okay. Just put it in a smaller bowl, put it in the fridge, after they come out of the fridge, and give it a stir, and then you're ready to pipe.
So I put it in the fridge to try and thicken it up, but I'm still nervous because he didn't say for certain that it's going to rise in the oven.
So you're making the custard first. Yep. Everybody else is making their choux buns first. You worried about that?
Yeah, could be. Could well be the undoing of me.
Yep.
Who knows?
OK.
They tell me I should be working on my pastry at this point, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm following the recipe here.
Alex, no scrambling, yeah?
See you, George.
The second step for me is doing the chocolate choux pastry.
To make the chocolate pastry, it's the same recipe as the vanilla one, but just adding some cocoa into the flour.
Alex, you've brought that down to 55 degrees and added your butter. That's actually looking really lush and really tasty. Did you give it a taste?
I did, actually, just before.
You like it?
It's never made custard before.
I'm really happy with my custard. I think I've done a good job. I get it in the fridge, ready to get onto the pastry.
George, the croquembouche is back. This is a big task for these guys. How do you think they're going?
Young Alex over there, he's decided to make his creme pat first.
He's the odd one out.
He's the odd one
Everybody
out.
else is on their choux pastry.
He hasn't done a bad job at it. Actually licked the bowl and gone, that's quite tasty.
Nice custard.
Nice custard.
Yep.
How's Rachel going back there?
Look, she's doing an OK job. She's made her first batch of choux pastry. She's on to the chocolate choux pastry now. And you know Rachel, she's a bit of a slow starter, and then she goes. So I reckon she'll be all right. What about our swimmer at the back there, Eamon? How's he going?
The choux pastry looked a little bit runny. I mean, it was hot when I stuck my finger in. Hopefully when it cools down, it tightens up. Yep. Because the last thing he wants to be doing is piping them on a tray and they're like flat little...
Because the risk is, obviously, is when you pipe it, if it's runny, they flatten out, you pop them in the oven, and nothing's going to push them up into those lovely, beautiful balls.
Kirk's actually really impressed me. He's made a beautiful choux pastry.
Yeah.
It's shiny, it's glossy, it's holding its form.
But, George, can I tell you, we are at the beginning of this challenge. We've got a long way to go, a lot of processes, and a lot of stuff that can go wrong.
You've got the chocolate profiteroles to do, they have to swirl. You've got the beautiful butterflies to do. This is twice as hard. I am twice as nervous.
This is a crazy challenge. Let's see how they go.
At this stage, you know, I've made my cream, I'm onto my pastry. I'm thinking, I'm doing pretty well.
1 hour has passed. You now have 2.5 hours to go.
Remember, this is the challenge that will see only 3 of you through to the final of Celebrity MasterChef.
1 hour down, I start spooning pastry mixture into my piping bag to start making my profiteroles.
Adriana, Rachel's piping her profiteroles. They look quite good, yeah?
Yeah, not too bad, yeah. And she's got the technique, but she hasn't got the grip.
Yeah.
20-cent pieces, Kirk.
Is that too big?
20 cents.
Should I start again?
Yeah.
After finding out that I'm making my profiteroles too big, I scrape off that tray and start again.
I start piping my vanilla choux pastry, and first thoughts are they're too runny. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've done this, I don't want to waste it. I'm going to put it in the oven and just see how they turn out.
So I'm trying to get this stuff into the bag and it's going everywhere. And I snip the bag and the stuff just starts pouring out. I hate piping. I'm never going to pipe again. I use the profanity and I start spooning out the mixture.
Oh my God. What do you reckon that's going to do to him?
If the mixture was all right and he's spooning it, I think he'd still get a decent result, but...
See what happens.
See what happens.
I've made my choux pastry, now I'm starting to make my creme pâtissière. So I'll make the vanilla one first, and then I'm going to make the chocolate one.
I'm very happy with the end result of my creme pâtissière. It's thick and it's glossy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've got less than 90 minutes left. Don't forget, leave yourself at least half an hour to assemble the most sexiest croquembouche ever.
I take out the first set of profiteroles and, you know, some of them have risen, some of them are a little flat, but there are a few gems in there.
Pulling my first tray of profiteroles out of the oven. Disaster. This isn't going to work. I'm going to have a stack of pancake profiterole croquembouche.